Why do I feel like I'm being afflicted all the time? When I try to understand all this, he goes on in in verse 16 of chapter 73. When I tried to understand all this, I troubled me deeply till I entered the sanctuary of God. Then I understood their final destiny. Surely you placed them on slippery ground, you cast them down to ruin. How suddenly are they destroyed, completely swept away from my terrors. They are like a dream when one awakes. When you arise, O Lord, you will despise them as fantasies. When my heart was grieved and my spirit embittered, I was senseless and ignorant. I was a brute beast before you. Yet I am always with you. You hold me by my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, and afterward you will take me into glory. Think about that. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. The psalmist is saying that there are people that you look around and you think they have it all, and they really don't. It's a very slippery slope. They get arrogant, they get prideful, they get abusive, and they inflict pain and suffering upon other people. But God is not a fool, and God is not like us. He's not impressed by someone's Bentley or their mansion or their tons of money or their bank account or who they think they are. God weighs a person's heart. He weighs a person's heart. He knows what your intentions are. And he knows what you will do next. Here's the great part. God is also a God of justice. You see, the pain and suffering that you feel is not going to be forever. It's not going to be forever. That's why Jesus said, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. See, in Jesus Christ is where we have peace. In this world you'll have trouble. Believe me. I've been in the world long enough, you're going to find some trouble. Somewhere down the line, it's going to find you if you're not looking for it. And if you don't have Jesus Christ, it's going to be slightly difficult. Actually, it's not going to be slightly difficult. It's going to feel like it's impossible. That's really what it's going to feel like. So, we sometimes lose sight of the fact that people suffer because there are people in this world who are arrogant and think that they can do whatever they want to whomever they want. And decisions are made that affect a lot of people's lives. But I'm going to change directions for a second. Have you ever thought that people suffer because it builds character? Now, I know no one wants to hear that. When I read that, I was like, yeah, there's got to be a lot of other ways to build character than to make me suffer. But have you ever noticed the lessons that you learn? I was not really an A student. You know, I would skim stuff. My parents, it doesn't make a difference. I already graduated school, so it makes no difference. I would skim things. I'd write papers real quick, whatever, no big deal. Most of those things I can't even remember. My dad, been cleaning stuff out, by the way, at my house, just a side note. And I found some stuff. My dad likes to say textbooks. I have no idea why, because I'm never going to read them again, and I didn't really read them when I was in school, to be honest, but might have perused them a little bit before a test. But the reality is that I don't look at these things anymore. And I realized that most of the stuff that I was supposed to learn in school, I really didn't. I learned, though, a tremendous amount more in life. Now, this is not an attack on the school system. This is just a reality that the painful things and the painful mistakes that I have made, I certainly remember. I know them because I know not only did I make a painful mistake for myself, but I know that I hurt someone else. in the process. And sometimes they have not forgotten that pain. And there are some people that are dealing with this right now. There's some people that need forgiveness. There's some people that need to be forgiven. You see, we end up on both sides. We don't really think about it that way. Just like we want people to treat us nicely and kindly with love, and when they don't, when they break that trust, we get upset. And when they ask for our forgiveness, we get into this lofty idea of, well, we'll see. Maybe. I don't know. Still take off with it. Thank God that God is not like that. But how about when the table is turned upon you? When you've caused someone to suffer, and now you're the one coming for forgiveness. It's not fun, is it? You see, Paul said something. He was writing a letter to the Romans, and he said, all have fallen short of the glory of God. Period. Everybody. Including himself. But in the context of who he was writing to the Jews who said, we are Jews. If you really want to be like a super Christian, you've got to be like us. Follow the law. Become circumcised. Do all the things that you're supposed to do as a Jew, as a good Jew. And Paul demolished that by saying, no, you have sinned just like everybody else. And you have fallen short of God's glory too. So some of us, we come to church and we go, oh, I'm a Christian. I've been one for 30 years. Guess what? You sin too. And you need forgiveness just like everybody else. Just like the person that never knew God. Because at some point you're going to make a mistake. We talked about this at length. About that wagging tongue that James was always talking about. How we are quick to use it. Sometimes very, very slow to use our brain. But our tongue is always fast to lash out, whether it's sarcasm, whether it's some kind of ridiculous remark, or some kind of insensitive thing that we say, or we quote-unquote joke about. We hurt people all the time. And sometimes we wonder, why are there so many hurt people in the world? But we don't look in the mirror and ask, what have I done? What have I done with what God has given me? Have I spoken life into people? Or have I spoken pain and suffering? So some of our pain and suffering does build character because it disciplines us. It educates us. Because my father used to say this. He raised 4 rambunctious children, male children. So it's amazing that he's still around, to be honest with you. But the reality is that he used to say, you boys like to learn the hard way. And he was right. Sometimes we do. That's the only way that we learn. You bust your knee, you get in trouble, you get 100 tickets, you do all the things that you're not supposed to do, and you pay the price for it. And now you come to a realization, maybe I should stop doing that. Because not only did it hurt me, physically, financially, emotionally, it's hurting my parents, it's hurting other people around me.